We are going to present you our innovative toilet design named Toilet of the X Century. As its name suggests, it is a sustainable design that can be used in both the present and the future time. To start our investigation on this area, we conducted an interview on campus to have an idea of the different problems people face while using public toilets.
In India, when it comes to public toilets, it's just first of all the fact that there aren't enough. Even in very famous areas, a tourist spot, there aren't public toilets. But if there are, then it's just the lack of sanitation in general.
I think the main problem goes to the poor hygiene, because sometimes I can see people in the shopping malls just they poo on outside the toilet and pee on the ground, and this is completely undesirable.
Actually, I don't really use public toilets. I only use the urinals in the public bathrooms because most of the time the public toilets are really, really disgusting and filthy.
10 million.
1.5 billion.
I think around 20%. 2 liters.
One flush, I'd say, is a litre.
1 liter.
Maybe 15 liters.
Can't you imagine your home not having a toilet? Although our world seems fast developed, the United Nations estimate that 2.4 billion people still lack access to improved sanitation facilities, and nearly 1 billion of them are using open defecation. We can use water in many ways, such as watering, drinking, cooking, and cleaning. But you probably do not realize the water used in toilet is about 13% of a household water usage. Recently, the modern toilet used 6 liters per flush, and the older one can use up to 12 liters. In UK homes, there were about around 45 million toilets which used 13 liters of water per flush. The amount of water usage in toilet seems too much, and it can be saved as other usage. Therefore, the water usage problem in toilet needed to be improved. Have you imagined how can hygiene problem kill a person? In fact, 15% of children deaf who are under 5 years old in low-income country, nearly 8.795 million deaths are related to the diarrheal diseases, which mainly caused by poor hygiene. Human feces are the primary sources of pathogens which lead diarrhea. The factors that cause diarrhea diseases are mainly poor sanitation and lack of water supply. If a toilet is poorly maintained, bacteria inside the feces or urines may contaminate people and cause the diseases. Also, the several impacts caused by current toilet-related problems therefore show how important it is to design a toilet that is environmental friendly and provide sanitary safety to the world.
In our design, we choose to use sensor for the flushing technique. We will insert the UV lamp into the toilet lid coat titanium dioxide photocatalyst protective layer onto the toilet seat and inner wall. Tornado flush and siphon flush will be the flushing method.
Let me start from the beginning. When we enter the toilet room, at first glance, the cleanliness of the toilet seat may affect our desire of using toilet. People may even doubt whether a seemingly clean toilet is really clean or not, because there are invisible bacteria exist after many users use the toilet. Our survey shows that around 40% of people would not sit on the seat when they use the toilet. Nearly 1/3 of them would choose to squatting without touching the toilet seat. Also, only 13.8% of people would not clean the toilet seat before use it. The results point out that the concerns of cleaning the toilet seats is necessary. So how can we solve it? We designed to install a UV lamp inside toilet seat cover, and a layer of photocatalyst would be covered on the toilet seat. A sensor will be installed on the toilet. When the sensor gets a signal of people going out, the toilet seat cover will be closed automatically to avoid water spilling out. At the same time, the UV lamp will be turned on to provide energy to excite photocatalyst.
Redox reactions involved in the process.
The strong oxidizing hydroxyl radicals will be formed to destroy cells of bacteria. Odor will disappear too. The bacteria will be decomposed to harmless water and carbon dioxide. As bacteria on the toilet seat will be killed, users can use toilet more comfortably and conveniently. Besides, compared to the traditional method to clean the seat, the new one can clean the toilet seat more efficiently and eco-friendly. Tissue and detergents are needed before the UV lamp is stored, which is not environmental friendly. But the new one can reduce the use of tissue paper and detergents that we can save more paper.
In a standard toilet, although we cannot see rough inner surface with naked eyes, under microscope, bacteria would build up in the inner wall and are hard to remove. After coating the toilet with the titanium dioxide photocatalyst protective layer, the inner wall will have a rough surface on nanoscopic level, hence can be assumed to be perfectly smooth, so it can flush away all the waste matter without leaving any residues. According to the survey, 64% people choose sensor as the most preferable flushing technique. Therefore, we chose this technique to adapt to consumers' habits. Let's see how it works. When the sensor detects the presence of a person in the toilet, first, the toilet lid will open. Second, it will spray water mist inside the toilet bowl to prevent excreted residues to stick on the inner wall. Third, while the person leaves the toilet, the sensor will not detect the person and will close and flush automatically. Lastly, the UV lamp will turn on to sterilize the bowl for 6 minutes and will switch off afterwards. Nowadays, most of the toilets use wash down flush. Water directly flows down from multiple holes at the same time. However, water used for the flushing can easily splash outside the toilet bowl. Also, it cannot clean the particles which are stuck onto the inner wall because water is not evenly distributed. Our system uses a tornado flush and siphon flush. For the tornado flush, the water turns down rapidly with a powerful water flow to clean the inner wall of toilet bowl.
After flushing the toilet, all the waste will run down to a pipe. In the most common cases of modern toilet system, the waste will either go through a septic system, where the waste is first stored in a septic tank for treatment and later released in a drain field. Or it can travel to a sewer treatment plant where multiple treatments will take place. However, these ways of treating waste are not accessible to everyone. In fact, developing countries might not have these kind of infrastructures as it is expensive, require high maintenance, as well as massive amount of water in order to be effective. So, in order to tackle these problems, we designed a sustainable toilet waste treatment system. It does not require complex infrastructures and provides an on-site waste treatment. So let's see how it works. After flushing the toilet, the waste goes through different compartments. It first enters a separator which is used to separate the liquids from the solids. This process can remove up to 98% of liquid from the solid waste. To begin, the liquid swirls down to a pipe connected on the side of the separator using the flush water's momentum and centripetal force induced by the shape of the separator. The liquid can then be treated with grey water in different ways. On the other hand, the solids, such as toilet paper and feces, drop down to reach the biochamber. Additionally, a wire ring is placed in the middle of the separator to assure that solids fall in the right place. After being dropped in the biochamber, the solids will be composted with the aid of bacteria and, if desired, with worms, which help reduce volume of solid waste by approximately 90%. The remaining liquid from the solid waste falls in a drainage layer under the compost. It is composed of two layers, which are a layer of peat or bark rind, following by a layer of gravel, in order to filter the liquid from the solid effectively. When the biochamber is full, which is every 1 to 6 years depending on the frequency of usage, the part of the compost that has been preserved long enough can be carefully taken out with a rake and used as an organic fertilizer for ornamental plants and trees. This design is odor-free as it has ventilating pipe between the separator and the toilet.
So, now that we have presented the blueprint of our innovative design, it is time to talk about its viability in the real world by estimating its price in the market. First and foremost, the price of the original toilet, including the toilet seat as well as the toilet lid, is 376 Hong Kong dollars. This is the global average price of a standard toilet. The second part that I would like to address is the titanium dioxide for the catalyst protective layer. After adding the layer, the toilet can be cleaner than ever. It costs approximately 250 Hong Kong dollars. How can it be so cheap? The third part is the sensor for closing the toilet lid. It senses the presence of a person by infrared radiation detection and can prevent the wastewater from splashing out of the toilet. It only costs about 15 Hong Kong dollars. Wow, it is fantastic! This can improve the sanitation of the toilet. The fourth part is the UV lamp on the toilet inner lid. When the toilet lid is closed, UV lamp will be turned on. Although it costs 105 Hong Kong dollars, it will kill 99% of bacteria as well as germs. To sum up, the toilet costs about 760 Hong Kong dollars. Last but not least, the last component is the waste treatment system. It can handle up to 12 toilets simultaneous flushing. The price of the composting structure is approximately 38,700 Hong Kong dollars. Hence, the price will be averaged to $3,225 per toilet. The worms for composting cost about 115 Hong Kong dollars. In total, $3,375 is required for the whole waste treatment system. You may say that, oh my god, it is too expensive. But actually, it is relatively cheap when you compare it to conventional waste treatment system. Example, the installation of a septic tank for a 3-bedroom household can cost anywhere from 11,700 Hong Kong dollars to 31,200 Hong Kong dollars. So, to summarize, our waste treatment system may seem expensive at a first glance, but it is only because we do not take the waste treatment system into consideration when we calculate the price of a toilet. Adding them all, the whole design costs about 4,000 Hong Kong dollars.
Our project tried to improve the toilet design, but we recognize that there is a more important factor to keep the toilet clean: users' behavior. According to the survey, 62.1% of interviewees were sitting on the seats when they used the toilet, which means the other 37.9% would not use the right pose. A person who used the toilet wrongly would affect all the foreign users. It is easy to find precaution signs in the toilet to remind users to sit on the seats and not to throw tissue in the garbage bin. These signs appear that people lack awarenesses of using the toilet properly. Therefore, the most efficient solution is education. Government should provide more education to the new generation to teach them ethical concerns. They can also advertise more to the public. Through poster and advertisement, people can realize the importance of using toilet properly. They can develop the habits of proper use of toilet. As a result, public toilet can be cleaner that everyone can use it comfortably.